The most common astrological house system is the Placidian system by Placidius de Titis, who lived in the 17th century. He didn't invent the system. He took it from Ptolemy, an astronomer, mathematician and geographer who lived in Alexandria during the 22nd century AD. In astrology, we deal with 12 sun signs and 10 planets. The 12 sun signs divide the universe, the mind, the body, and human experience into 12 sections. The astrological houses signify the latter distinction, the 12 principal human experiences or essential aspects of life. The 12 houses divide human experiences horizontally. There's also a vertical division, the 4 levels of human expression. The 4 cardinal sun signs Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius and Taurus represent those. You can find these 4 in the 4 corners of the tarot cards 10 and 21, the lion, the eagle, the man and bull. They correspond to the suit of wands, cups, swords and pentacles. The 4 levels of experiencing are the spiritual, creative-feely, intellectual and bodily emotional levels. I made a separate video about them too. You can find the link in the video description. Most queerants come to tarot readings because they have a problem they can't solve or because they are unsure about a planned undertaking. Using the astrological houses, tarot readers can determine to which area of life the queerant's question pertains. I'll show how to do this at the end of the video. The naming and descriptions of the 12 astrological houses are a bit old-fashioned and need a little facelift. Astrology is the ancient form of psychology. Astrology and the stories about the gods are a treasure trove for psychological wisdom. But astrology and psychology have different jargons. I hope to bridge the gap between these 2 jargons in this video. The first house is the house of Aries, the house of the self. This house governs the queerant's ego, self-identity, personality, fate and destiny. It also has to do with self-realization and the heart's desire, which is the most important thing the queerant wants to be and do in her life. Hence, this house governs the purpose of the current incarnation. Aries rules the head, in particular the cerebral cortex and the eyes. The respective tarot card is the Emperor. The Emperor is a pioneer, pathfinder and business developer. Life is an adventure. Go for it. The second house is the house of Taurus, which is the house of creativity, aka the house of fortune. Fortune is a bit misleading. Venus rules Taurus. Taurians are hardworking artisans. We don't find fortune, we create it. Mind that fortune is a wild card. For those who are after money, fortune means money. For scientists, fortune means knowledge. For spiritual people, fortune means enlightenment. Taurus rules the neck and the thyroid gland. The respective tarot card is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the revealer of the mysteries. She reveals to us what is true fortune and how to acquire it. Mind the Hierophant is the patron of tarot readings. The third house is the house of Gemini, the house of intelligent pursuits. This is the house of science, education, communication, correspondences, documents and books. Gemini rules the arms, hands, shoulders, lungs and collarbones. The respective tarot card is the Lovers. This card shows the correct scientific attitude, harmony between our cognitive and creative abilities, the man and the woman, and receptivity toward intuition, the angel. The fourth house is the house of Cancer, the house of home. Mind, this is not the house of relationships. Family is a business, and family and relationships between family members are 2 different affairs. Libra governs relationships. Cancer is the most motherly zodiac sign. Hence, this house stands for all things related to motherhood, in particular nurturing and protection. This house governs domestic life, the household, neighborhood, ancestry, heritage, and real estate. Cancer rules the breasts, the stomach, the esophagus, and the diaphragm. The respective tower card is the Chariot. The Hebrew letter associated with the Chariot is Chet, which means field. This stands for all the fields or areas of influence that we protect and nurture. The fifth house is the house of Leo, the house of the heart, aka house of pleasure. The term pleasure is a bit misleading. The heart is not after sensuality or emotional gratification. The heart is after love. Hence, this house governs all the things and people we love. This house has also to do with the way we exercise control over our fields of influence. Do we exercise control with empathy and kindness, or are we tyrannical? Leo rules the heart, the upper region of the spine, and the aorta. The respective tower card is strength. The woman in the picture exercises control over the lion, emotional forces, with a wreath of roses, which symbolizes love. The sixth house is the house of Virgo, the house of responsibilities and routines, aka the house of health. This house rules employment and other services we provide. This includes health matters, the responsibilities we have towards our bodies and our mind. This house governs all worldly education and literacy and the knowledge we need to assume our responsibilities. Virgo rules the abdomen and digestive system. The respective tower card is the Hermit. The Hermit holds up the light of ageless wisdom. This light symbolizes the responsibilities we have towards mankind and our own evolution. The seventh house is the house of Libra, the house of relationships and partnerships. This house governs every relationship that is transactional. The relationship between spouses, children, business relationships, and other partnerships. As such, it is the house of diplomacy, negotiations, agreements, deals, and legal matters. Last but not least, this house governs our relationship with the external world, which is governed by karma. Libra rules the lower region of the spine, the kidneys, and the vasomotor system. The respective tower card is Justice. The woman in the tower card, the so-called goddess of justice, maintains the balance of the universe. The eighth house is the house of Scorpio, the house of transformations. This house rules changes and transitions, like changes in life circumstances, self-transformation, accidents, and the transition from incarnation to discarnation, and vice versa. Do you wonder why transformation has its own house? Everything changes all the time, and nothing is at rest. Life is always on the move. As such, this house also governs the unknown. In fact, without transformations, we can't have life. The eighth house also governs the transmissions of past life karma, wills, legacies, and inheritance. Scorpio rules the sexual organs, the bladder, the urethra, and prostrate glands. The respective tower card is Death. The white skeleton in the card is our soul that moves along the stream of its incarnations towards the rising sun, which symbolizes enlightenment. The ninth house is the house of Sagittarius, the house of experiences, aka the house of purpose. Sagittarians are adventurous. This house governs adventures in the external world, like traveling to foreign countries, but also the adventures of the mind, like quests for higher wisdom, visions, and spiritual aspiration. Therefore, it is also the house of philosophy, religion, belief systems, ethics, and spiritual education, as well as mentors and gurus. Sagittarius rules the hips, thighs, and the sciatic nerves. The respective tower card is Temperance. The angel in the card is the higher self, which tempers our feelings and thoughts through the tests and trials we experience during our inner and outer adventures. The 10th house is the house of Capricorn, the house of material affairs and business, aka the house of social status. This house governs worldly ambition and standing, businesses, career, professional goals, occupation and business, and the results thereof like success, achievements and awards, reputation, expertise, and worldly authority. This is also the house of adversity, which governs the problems, conflicts, and difficulties that come with the pursuit of material gain. The 10th house rules the knees and the skin. The respective tarot card is the devil. The funny creature in the picture symbolizes adversity and confusion, which change our thinking and feeling to appearances and half-truths. The 11th house is the house of social networking, aka the house of friends. This house rules the collective influence of society and other groups, as well as friendships, acquaintances, and other non-transactional relationships. This house is the house of kindred spirits who enjoy each other's company. Aquarians are charitable, humanitarian, and inventive. Hence, this house is also the house of dreams and revelations, including revelations that lead to the invention of new technology. Aquarius rules the calves. The respective tarot card is the star. The woman in the card illustrates the secrets of the workings of the mind and meditation. The 12th house is the house of Pisces, the house of subconsciousness. This house governs all the things in our subconsciousness, including those we are not aware of, like memories, wishes, dreams, hopes, fears, drives, needs, and addictions. Since Pisces is the last of the 12 zodiacs, this house also governs endings and conclusions. Piscean natives have an inclination towards psychism, which is a subconscious ability. It's also the house of devotion, the things people devote themselves to in privacy. Some call this house the house of undoing or ruin. This includes imprisonment, actual incarceration, or mental imprisonment by fears, drives, and addictions. Pisces rules the feet. The respective tarot card is the moon. The moon in the card represents subconsciousness and the integration and shows the integration of experiences into our subconsciousness. The Placidian system is not the only system that divides human experiences into areas or fields. Feng Shui distinguishes 9 types of experiences. These are first wealth, prosperity and self-worth, fame, reputation and social life, marriage, relationships and partnerships, health, family and community, fortune, children and creativity, wisdom and self-knowledge, career and life mission, and helpful people. Using the Bagua, you can divide your living space into these 9 sections. If you boost one of these sections, you will boost the corresponding experience. For example, if you lack wealth, you boost the wealth section in your living space. In case you're versed in astrology, you can offer your clients a level and house reading. As mentioned, they determine to which level and principal experience your client's question pertains. To determine the level, deal 4 stacks. The first stack stands for the spiritual level, the second for the creative feeling level, the third for the intellectual level, and the fourth for the bodily emotional level. The stack in which you find a significator indicates to which level of human expression the querent's question pertains. To determine the house involved, deal 12 stacks. The stack in which you find the significator indicates to which essential aspect of life the querent's question pertains. In the same way, you can also look for health risks. You can use the correlations between the sun signs and body parts mentioned earlier. Cards that appear adverse in the stack where you find the significator may shed further light on the health issue. You can also combine your tarot reading with an analysis of your client's astrological chart. In that chart, you can look for astrological weaknesses, which will shed further light on the root causes of your client's challenges. Last but not least, you can offer an additional horary astrological divination. During horary divination, the astrologer attempts to answer a querent's question by constructing a horoscope at the time of the querent poses it. Tarot readings and horary astrology have the same goal and work the same way. only the method differs. The horary astrologer uses astrological calculations, and the tarot reader uses tarot cards. Since all tarot cards have also astrological meanings, and these astrological meanings are used to answer the querence questions, the outcome of a horary divination and a tarot reading should be the same. If you are versed in Feng Shui, you can use the 9 principal areas of life as defined by Feng Shui. In this case, deal 9 stacks. The stack in which you find the significator indicates to which principal type of experience the querence question pertains. In addition, you can offer your client a Feng Shui-based evaluation of her living space. This will give the querent additional support in solving her problem or tackling her undertaking. Thank you for watching this episode of the Enlightenment Tarot. I hope you discovered an inspiration or two. Please help to spread the light with a like and a share. And don't forget to subscribe. Love and light.